Hey everyone, how's it going? Um, I took a bit of a break yesterday and Sunday. I started learning how to do video editing. So I spent some time yesterday and Sunday figuring out how to edit some of some of the gaming that we did on Friday stream. So I have 4 hours of footage. I was trying to figure out how to edit. So that's kind of why there was no stream yesterday and Sunday. It was just me figuring out how to do that. So it looks like we got 100 followers during that time. So the Discord, as promised, the Discord link is for now as part of the channel. So if you want to join our Discord, you could feel free to join. We still need to figure out some of the setup for the Discord. But yeah, if you want to join the Discord, we have one now, and it's part of. You can find the link as part of this channel's about page, so you should be able to find it there. So if you want to join, for today, what we're going to be working on is mostly we're going to go and we have two issues that we need to fix for our streaming manager. So we are going to fix both of those issues. The next thing I want to do is I want to show our latest subscriber as part of the header overlay. So we're going to fix that too. And then I want to start working on adding more commands to our chatbot because we only have one right now. And I want to add more and more as we go. So we're just going to go and refactor that a bit to make sure that it works correctly. Yeah, so that's kind of what we're going to be working on. And we want to make sure that that we have everything updated and we handle these two issues that we have here before we start. So the first one that we're going to do is in our scanner. So our scanner is taking a C run, a argument that we're not using. So we just need to get rid of it and rerun the test and make sure that it works correctly. So we're going to do that. That's kind of so yeah. So there's kind of needs a bit of work. There is another one is we have a race condition. So we have to fix that too. And what that means is that we have, two places, two goal routines, trying to write to one place, and our goal should be to just get rid of that goal routine. Oh, that's not right. Okay, and let's just get rid of this. Okay, so here's the issue. So the issue here is that C is not being used. Because we are getting it online too. So that's kind of what was happening here. So we just have to get rid of it and just make sure that the test themselves are running correctly. So we are going to just go in there and run our tests to make sure that they're passing and we didn't break anything. Okay, so it looks like other places we are going to have to fix those places. Again, some of these places are passing C, but we don't need it anymore. And we don't need to do this. It's mostly for cleanup because we don't need it anymore, so it's better if we just get rid of it. And that means that we don't have to assign it here either, since we're not passing it in the first place. We just have to find all the different places that are doing the same, so we can make sure that it works correctly. Okay, so we need to go to our scanner and do the same thing there. Let's see. Let's go simple. Yep. And since we have tests, we can make this change and then run the test and see if we end up breaking something. But until we fix the color, until we fix it, it won't let us run the test. So there's one more place. That we need to change. So I'm trying to stop repeating the same key, so it's kind of what I'm doing. Okay, so that means that they're passing, so we could go back here and just run all of them to make sure that they're passing. Okay. Cool. And then we could do git commit. You say it is I think that's a bit wordy. And then we could say close this. 2. Not 2. 4. Okay, so that means that this is closed now. We fix that one. And this is pretty much what the change was. So this is closed. And this is change. So we just remove the argument from the function. Okay, so that one's done. So the next one we need to do is more important. This is a race condition that we're triggering. And the only way to trigger is like if I trigger this once. So it's in our event server. So stream server, yeah. So here, if I run it only once, it runs correctly. Even if I run it like once, this still, what it gets interesting is when you run it a lot. So this one works correctly. Right? If you run it 100 times, it's gonna take some time. I think that's a bit too much. It's still only 20 times. So you have to run it a couple times to make sure to get it, which is kind of the only way to trigger the race condition, which is right here. So even if you run it 10 times, you cannot see it. But the race condition is... So a race condition is when you access data from when you write to a variable from another Go routine. So that's kind of what is happening, or we try to read from it. So this one is, yeah, this is reading from it. So the issue that is happening is that we have a bunch of Go routines that are reading from the same place, but it's getting modified. So that's kind of triggering a race condition here. And the reason why it's triggering a race error is because we're passing the race flag to the test. So the main issue is we have a map of clients. So maybe the best thing is let's just read the stack trace. So the test is one triggering it, so we know that already. We could see where we're trying to read it. What we're trying to do, we're trying to close this channel. The issue here is being so what is triggering the raise condition is our stop method, right? We're calling a stop method, and then that stop method is the one that is triggering the raise condition. So if we go here to our events file and we do stop, so stop itself is looping through the map and then it's closing all the channels, right? But the issue is if there is more channels that it needs to take, if there is more clients that are being added, we are not able to handle this correctly because sure, we close the channels that are handling adding clients, but the main issue here is that it's just gonna listen forever, right? Sorry, it's not listening forever. The main issue here is that it's just gonna get the wrong information. So the number of clients could be wrong because as we add more clients here, it's just not necessary. So that's kind of what is happening here. And one other improvement that we could do, instead of using boolean, we could just use a empty struct here, and that will make it a lot easier. So empty structs don't use any memory, so that's why we are using it here. So you could use an empty struct here. Let's see if we can find an example of someone. Yeah, I think part of one contribution did int struct, so I just want to make sure that we're doing. Improve caching testing. Yep, so this is how to do it, but I wonder how you do it outside of like assign it. Oh, I think it's like this. Yep. So this is an empty struct. It's kind of defining the structure in place. So it's defining the structure in place, and then you are defining the fields, and there's no fields, so it's an empty one. So kind of what it's doing there. Okay, so that is one fix. The next fix that we need to do is start using mutex. So we're gonna use async mutex. Sorry, we're gonna use mutex from async. So we're gonna use that. In the case here, we are only gonna do the lock and unlock, because pretty much any place should just wait for it. That's kind of the issue here. So here we are gonna have to wrap this into. We're gonna lock it, and then we're gonna unlock it here. Then here we have to do the same thing. So we're gonna do e.lock and e.unlock. Okay, so I think that covers it. So we can just run it again. So I might have changed a bit too much. So there's an issue with the syntax. Oh. I think I pasted something on top. There we go. Yeah, I pasted something on top. That shouldn't be there. Okay, and then if we run it 30 times. We have another one. So this one's for writing. 88. Maybe we should just wrap the whole thing. Yeah, so we just have to keep running it and see if it fails. Okay, so that fixed it. But there's a better way to do it. So let's do here. And we are just gonna take a lock and then unlock it when the function finishes. If there's no work done, it's not gonna do anything. Then we don't need that one there. So now the way it's gonna work is that we're gonna lock here when the function gets called, the method gets called. Then we're gonna defer the unlock. So that means that when it's done, it's gonna unlock the resource. So that's kind of what we're gonna be doing there. But there's still another one. This is also because we're closing the channels. 93. There's some weirdness going on. I think there's multiple places trying to close it, but we're using the once, so I'm not sure why it's being triggered so many times. Oh, it's because we were resetting it here. So every time we started, we reset it. So I wonder if that's the case. But we should be getting a lock. Yeah, let's just... So this is the one that is writing. So this one's just turning it off. The other one's starting it. So there is like multiple places that are doing it. Let's see. Oh, 200. So there's another place that is reading. So let's see. We just have to be careful with all the locks, because if you have too many of them, it's just gonna get weird. Sorry, it's gonna get slower, not weird. Where? 93. 23. Okay, so this is the one that is causing the clients to disconnect. So we're reading from here. Well, this is disconnecting the clients. If it's running. Hey, how's it going? But it's teaching me a lot. I know last time I learned about round tripper, and I ended up implementing my own. So we are gonna go over that when I'm done. But yeah, I don't like. Again, the goal is to learn as much as I can. Nice. My goal is to be able to learn as much as I can. If there's something that's on the library is not doing correctly, it's better if I learn it. Yeah, Uber has a bunch of cool tools. They have a bunch of like while they're metric databases is also very cool. I went to one of the talks a few months back. Well, sorry, like a year ago. Okay, so this is the one that is causing the race condition here. We're trying to write to a channel. So the issue is that we're writing to a channel. We're reading from a channel and then writing to it. Oh, so you mean like... So... Oh, this one here, because since we're running I see. Oh, this is running asynchronous too, because it's a goal routine. It's running the HTTP server. Sorry, serve HTTP is running inside of a server too. So if I wanted to do here, I will have to do the same thing where I take a lock. But that means every request will have to take a lock when the client connects, and then we have to defer it. Okay, that makes sense. And then because I'm updating somewhere else. Okay, so I guess for here I will just take a read. Yeah, I won't have to change it and take a read lock. That'll make it a lot easier. Okay, so yeah, thank you for that. So we're gonna change this to be a read lock. Since we're not assigning it, it will work better here. Okay, so here we only want a read lock, so we're just gonna take a read lock here. And then here we are gonna just take a lock there. This one is okay, but maybe we should also take a lock here, because we are still doing some stuff. So here we're writing to this one here. So sorry, we're writing to is running. Cool, thank you for that. Yeah. Okay, so we are gonna run this a couple more times and make sure that it's working correctly. Yeah, so again, the goal is for me to learn the pitfalls of using the standard library. No, I don't think so. It kicks off a goal routine so in here. So this whole thing is in a goal routine. So it shouldn't lock. It shouldn't be other lock there. Oh, no worries. Okay. Yeah, so the goal is for me to like learn as much as I can for the standard library and like how to there's like different things going on. Okay, so there's another one. And it's pretty much the same issue with stop. So you just have to find which one is the one doing it. This is a different one. Oh, well, same one. This one is because we're trying to close a channel, I think, that is already closed. Oh, wait. Did I do something? Did I change it to... No, that's right. So this one is inside of the goal routine. Sorry, this one we're making sure that we lock it. There's something else that is causing it, so let's see. So... Oh, I have looked at async map. The only issue with async map is the interface. So everything is the interfaces. So I will have to convert it back and forth. That will be the only thing that it's like the downside of it. Because then I will have to get, when I get things back from it, I have to make sure I have to convert it to the right type, which shouldn't be that bad. But I don't think it's the map causing this issue. Oops. I think it's the channels in cells. Also, because maybe it's because I'm using once, so. So yeah, I think it's the channels in cells doing it. So like, it's mostly of the channels failing. So, oops. You mean update goal? Okay, I could try that. Oh, that's good to know. Okay, so okay, so I'm updating now. It might take a bit, but it's updating. Cool. So while we wait for that, wait. I think I might stop my Go installation. No, it's not brew. So I use this thing called JVM, which is not that one. So I think I use this one. Something's wrong with my Go version. No, something happened where it's like refusing to update for some reason. So I'm just gonna reset the whole thing. So it's like there is it was trying to download the latest version of Go and it couldn't. Because there is like some weird dependency or something like that. Okay. So while we wait for me to install the latest version of Go, hopefully it's successful. So I use this package which I've been using since like 3 years ago. And it's kind of lets you install any version of Go like straight away for Windows 2. So I kind of like it a lot. That's kind of what I'm using. Still failing. Oh, I know why. Okay. It's my own thing. Okay, yeah. So I have the latest version now. So you're saying if I should run it like this? Okay, so I think this is the issue. Is the channel is being closed. Oh, it's because I'm not using. So I stopped using. I changed how this function worked. Okay. It takes longer when I use race. Yeah, it's doing more work. Okay, So that one worked. So I'm gonna run it again. Cool. So yeah, I knew that one. I knew that you could deploy into production. Yeah, don't do that in production. Yeah. But if you have like a leaky server service and you want to test in production as a canary test, you can, which is a nice thing. Okay, so 71 is right into it. 72 is right into it. 86, 88 is reading from. Hey Core, how's it going? 72. I guess I need to take a lock on every. Yeah, here too, right? Because I'm right into it. And I'm close to the channel for it. So I am writing to the. I'm deleting from the map. I think that's kind of the issue there. That could be an auction, yeah. Cool. Oh, so this is more than. Oops. Let's wait until it finishes. This is more than taking a channel. This is me. I am deleting from the map, so that's kind of what is happening here. It's cool that you're learning TypeScript and JavaScript core. My past role was doing JavaScript. Sorry, not JavaScript. TypeScript with Node.js. Yeah, so that's kind of what is happening. Sorry, yeah. Is I'm taking a core. I'm deleting from the map there, and it's just complaining that I'm deleting inside of a Go routine. So I'm just gonna run this like a bunch of more times and see if there's other ones that pop up. Yeah, so we're gonna run it again. So core, we're doing Go for a bit. That's also very true. I could just increase it to like 100. Let's do that. Let's just increase it to 100 and see how long it takes. But yeah, so we are doing Go. We are. Well, let's do 100 and raise. So we're running a bit of Go for our stream management. So pretty much, so the overlays and the messages that you see in chat are controlled by this Go program that we are writing during the stream. There's a good things that we need to fix before I start working on adding subscribers to the overlay and goals. But that's kind of what we're working on right now. And right now I'm just running. There's a couple of race conditions that we're trying to fix right now. In the meantime. So the thing with Go might be easier for. So Go to set up, depending on your computer, might be easier to set up. Yeah, so there is a lot of things that you have to figure out how to get correct with TypeScript and JavaScript. But after you set it up, it just works. One thing I like about Go is like it's just like you just have to download it, and it's pretty much set. Most of the standard library has everything that you need, with the exception of like some other packages to make it better. But you don't really have to use a lot of dependencies, which kind of happens in JavaScript. You have to in TypeScript. You have to. Your first, like if you create a React app, your first React app is gonna have like 1,000 dependencies out of the box. In case of Go, you kind of don't need that, need to do all that. But yeah, it could be very difficult to get started in JavaScript. I think that's also what the issue that I have with testing in JavaScript. Excuse me. So testing in JavaScript is a bit difficult just because you don't have that much information on how to set up the correct testing frameworks and things like that. And there's like 10 different packages that you can use for testing, so it becomes very difficult. In Go, you automatically have a Go package that gives you all that information. But yeah, it could be very difficult. Cool. So it looks like we fixed the race condition. At this point, we don't have any more race conditions here. So I'm gonna push this up. But first, I ended up writing so on Friday we were looking into authenticating to the Twitch API to be able to get the total number of subscribers and the new subscriber for our channel. So I ended up working on this on Saturday, where I created a so Azar pointed out I created something called a round tripper, which is just like a middleware for the HTTP client in Go. So yeah, so it's like a middleware that you can use to be able to when the HTTP client is making a request to a server, the round tripper that you assign to it is tripped. Is call, and then you are able to call another function from there. So you could do like append more information to the request. So that's kind of what we ended up doing. That's what I ended up doing on Saturday. I ended up writing a round tripper that handles authentication for us. Handles renewing a expired token from the Twitch API. So the token itself is kept inside of. The things that we need are the expiration, and we have expiration, the refresh token, and the access token. I am using our cache, our in-memory cache structure that we created before to be able to keep that information around. So that's kind of what we're doing here. So the round tripper, you can just if you do have done JavaScript and Express, it's just a middleware that sits between the caller and the server. So when the caller makes a request to the server, the middleware function gets called, and then it does some stuff. It might modify the request by appending. In this case, we are appending a header to the request, and then we are just calling the round tripper of whatever the caller was. In this case, we're just using the default one because that's what we're using in. That's kind of the one that's kind of the one that we were using for our client before. So we are just using the default one for now. We might want to change this in the future, but for now, this works. So the round tripper itself just checks if you have a valid a token that has expired. If it expires, this line here goes, and then it retreats. If it's if it's expiring in less than a minute, it's gonna go and request a new one by just making a request and just requesting a new one. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I really was intrigued by how the round trippers work. So I haven't done them before, so this will be the only chance I will get to do it. So I just went back and refactored it. So that's kind of what I'm doing. So the user access expiration is the time that the request was fulfilled. So I made some changes to the cache. So the way that the cache works is that it takes the time right now. We could do that too. So right now the way that it works is that I take the current time now. I add the expiration time to it. So I will say like this is expiring an hour from now, and then I am just saving that to the cache as a string. And then back here, I am just turning that back into like, back here I'm just turning that back into like formatting back in time. Maybe I could also just use Unix time, so I don't have to do conversions like this. But for now, this works. Then I'm just like checking if it's a minute, if it's less than a minute, and then before now, and then we just refresh it. And it just uses our the API that we wrote before. It's just making a request. So the difference here now is that we have two clients. We have one for authentication. Where are our clients? So yeah, we have two clients. You need to... Oh, that's a good point. So you mean like... okay, so do you mean like two requests go out at the same time? Then they will get it. One of them will get a token. So we will end up with two places refreshing token at the same time, and that means that we are making two requests to the Twitch API to refresh it. Okay, that's very true. Okay, yeah. So that's something that we could add right now. Cool. So we have two clients. So we have one for HTTP off client, which we use for making requests to the Twitch API that needs to be authenticated, and then we have another one that is just the default one, which we don't really do any authentications against. So we have two clients for this. One has our round tripper, the other one doesn't have it because we don't need it in some cases. Cool. And Asar just mentioned that there is some side of... Well, let's just push these changes that I just did. So yeah, it's like it's just only used for when we need to use the token. So right now we only have one method that is using it, which is a subscriber. And then if you add more methods that need to ping the Twitch API with a authentication token, we will just use that client for that. Let's see, what was the issue number? Cool. Okay, so then we need to go to our transport, and we are going to have to take a lock here. Oh, we already have it. So we just have to use our lock to get the request. So the cache has it. I think this whole thing should be under a lock. So but here's the issue. Would it... Oh, but it will only be for that request. It wouldn't be... It's like every time that it checks for it, it wouldn't be too bad. So my only worry will be like we spend too much time and then we block forever, but that wouldn't be the case here, right? Because half of the time, like 90% of the time, we will always have a valid token, and the only time we wouldn't have one is when the token expires. And when the token expires, the Twitch API could do two things: send us a success response or send us a failure one, or hang. In either case, we will just throw an error, and that means that we will be able to unlock here. So I haven't used it. So I haven't used it context timeout, but I should start using it. Oh well, I lied. I think I'm using it. I might just be using the default one. Yeah, I'm not using it at all. I don't have a timeout in the client. I'm using the default configuration. So that might be something that I want to do. Let's just put that as to do. Yeah, so I have read that article a lot because some of the work that I was doing before was to. So this is not being used yet, but I started this other project that has all the default settings that I like to use for the HTTP client. So currently the streaming software, the streaming manager project doesn't use it, but this one has all the defaults. So it kind of sets it up for you. But I haven't used this. Hey Frank, how's it going? Oh, I didn't know that was a thing. I was just like, Kuma. Oh, it's a bear in Japanese. Is that a thing? Oh, I didn't know. This was not done on purpose. I think we had the same idea though. One is I don't think I'm building a match framework, so that's kind of the cool thing about it. Okay, so what is the difference between this one and so service mesh? What's the difference between Axio and Kuma? It's okay if you don't know. I guess this one's just made by Google. Oh, okay. Yeah, that would be a plus. Yeah, that would be a plus, because if it doesn't run, if it runs inside of Kubernetes, it could be weird. Oh, I see. It runs in any cloud provider too. Cool. Yeah, I didn't do that on purpose. Okay, so now I know another Kubernetes slash not really. Which one is it? Do you know? Have you set it up before? Have you set up Kuma before or Axios? Oh yeah, that makes a lot more sense. So since it's part of the organization, that means that so Axios is not Axios is pretty much owned by Google. Okay, no, makes sense. I will too. So I haven't done any infrastructure in the past like 2 years, so I feel like I'm way behind on all the things people are using. One thing that I was always confused was certain matches were supposed to fix. I'm still confused with what they're trying to fix, but some people like it. So for context, one of the companies I work for has something like Kubernetes, but not really. They use something called so a company I work for, used to work for, use this instead of Kubernetes. And the thing that I like about it was that there was a limited amount of space on each machine, but each service that was running on the machine got their own port, and you could just go directly through that port and just go make a request to it instead of trying to guess where it was, like trying to like hook into DNS and like all the weird things that Kubernetes does. I like it there a lot. I like working on it. It's kind of not really. It's kind of like a bit hard to set up nowadays, and it's retired. I didn't know it was retired, so I wonder what they're doing now. But yeah, they used to. I think they might still use this in production, but now that it's retired, I don't know what they're gonna be using. But it's built on top of Mesos, and that was one of the cool things. Okay, so I believe let's see, yeah, add tomato. Okay, so I made a note there. I might just end up just using some of the stuff that I did in Kuma, which already has like some of the timeouts, and it also uses context, so we could use that. Okay, so No, sorry, I don't want to become famous. Just hanging. Okay. Let's just push this up. What is TIG? Is that the right way to pronounce it? So sometimes with these technology things, do you mean this? So as far as the stream, I've been getting some really good suggestions. Okay, so I will put this into the list of things that I have to look. It looks very cool. Okay, thank you for the suggestion. Ah, it is. That's very cool. Okay, cool. That covers some of the issues that we had in the library. That's very cool. So I will look into using, seeing how I could make dig part of my workflow. It looks kind of cool. And I could probably use brews to install it. Yeah, cool. So what we need to do now is, so before we jump into adding commands to our bot account. Also, I haven't plugged this yet, but let's see. Most like, yeah, it's a good point. I didn't test if it compiles or not. It does compile. Okay. So one thing I didn't plug is that we now, because we have 100 followers, we do have a Discord channel, which I have to find the link. Sorry. So, do you want to hang out after stream or just any point? We have a Discord channel now. And yeah, we hit 100 followers, so thank you so much for following. Cool. So that, yeah, it builds. So what we're gonna do next is, I want to be able to show. So we have our header, which is weird. Oop, that crashed. So, oh, I know why. It's because I removed it. The issue was like I removed it, and then since it was in there, it just completely crashed because there was a bunch of things missing. And that shouldn't be there. Okay. Okay, that was weird. So let's go back here. Okay, so now, so the authentication works correctly. Cool. Oh yeah, so back here. This is how our header works. The header that is part of the stream. Yeah, that other is part of the stream too. Do you mean like cache the token to this too? Ooh, that's a good point. Should we cache? So we will have to also teach it to Spire too. So that's a good idea. We should also do access token. Maybe the whole thing should be cached to this, right? Like the. Oh yeah, sorry. I have access. I mean refresh. Okay, that's a good point. Cool. So yeah, that makes sense. So we have this. This is our follower goals and shows the last follower. Now you pretty much just showed how the authentication. Sorry, the authentication against the Twitch API works. I updated some of the code to. So I have that. Sorry, let me make sure I have this link safe. Oh, it froze. Okay, so let me save this here. Yeah, that's a good point. I shouldn't save that to this. Let's go back to streaming software. Then I didn't finish the refresher, but we have a way to refresh. So the refresher checks if we have authenticated against the Twitch API. If we haven't, it's gonna then open the URL for Twitch in our browser. So that's kind of what you saw before. It was that I started the service since it authenticates every single time. Like Sarah mentioned, I should cache that to this so I could read it when it starts for the first time. But we're not doing that yet. We are then creating a URL to make a request to the Twitch API to get a valid token, an access token. So we get that access token, and then we just open it, the URL. So that's kind of what's happening here. And then we are able to use that information to then start making requests to the Twitch API to get the followers. So right now, the goal is to, so we might have to push some of these things off or make them smaller. But right now, the goal will be to kind of, you can probably don't want to have both. So I'm going to take this one off and then have a subscribers goal. And I'm going to say later follower. And then maybe I should just do, for now, it's going to be latest follower, latest subscriber. And then we could figure out the wording later. But that's kind of what we're going to be doing next. The API part of it is also a bit done, except for the refresher. So the only part that is missing is how do we get the data inside of, how do we update the data? But the API is kind of done too. So we are getting the total subscriber, which is right now set to 0 because we don't have a cache for it. So we have to populate that information. So we have the total subscriber and its latest latest subscriber name. So we're gonna put it out there too. Give me a second. Someone was asking me, so the reason why there was no stream yesterday and the day before was because I was learning how to edit videos. So it took me a while to figure out. So I spent like 2 days figuring out how to edit the video that we did. So we did a gaming stream on Friday night. So I ended up just going through the stream and like trying to create like a short version of it, so I go upload it into like YouTube and some other places. So someone asking me if it's public yet, and it's not public yet. I'm still trying to figure out how to cut it even more. So I'm trying to take 4 hours and condense it to like 40 to 50 minutes. But everything feels like a very important thing for me. Okay, cool. So what we need to do now is the first thing we need to do is work on the refresher. So the goal of the refresher is to refresh the data. We are kind of long pulling the Twitch API every few seconds, so we're trying to keep in mind the rate limit that Twitch has, but we're trying to long pull it. So we're long pulling the Twitch API to get the latest follower, and that's kind of why there's a delay on when someone's follows versus when it shows in the stream. It's just because how the Twitch API works. There is webhooks and things like that you have to do, but because I'm running everything on my computer, I'm not able to use webhooks. Maybe the next steps of this will be to probably host it somewhere where we could run it away from my computer, and then we could add webhooks to it. That would be one of the cool things we could do. Cool. So one of the things we need to do is we have something called, let's see. Yeah, we have a call that I guess the current follower. The goal is to pretty much implement the same thing, but for the subscriber. So we want to do current subscriber, and then we want to get the current subscriber information as part of this, and then set it into our cache. So that's kind of what is happening here. And then so there's both. So the Twitch API supports WebSockets, but it's kind of weird because so I could show you. So the webhooks. So there's the webhooks ones, which gives you a lot of information. Yeah, it's a legacy one. So the new one doesn't support any webhooks yet. So there is like WebSockets. So the WebSocket one is here, right? But the topics themselves are limited. So you could only get when people donate money. So when they donate bits to your channel, and then channel points when they use channel points, when someone subscribes, and that's pretty much it. There's nothing about followers, so that's kind of the only missing point. That there's no way to see when someone is following you from that API. So so this is a new one that they're trying to get people to move to, but it's missing followers, which is kind of what we're using the long pull for. And then for the webhooks ones, there is followers. Let's see. Yeah, so when someone follows you, you get a webhook from it. Hopefully they implement this same webhook into the WebSocket one, and then that means that we don't have to do anything fancy, and we can just connect to the webhook API and start receiving WebSocket. So we could connect to the WebSocket and then start getting messages from there. But for now, it's like there is nothing here for followers, which is kind of disappointing. Because when I saw it, I was very excited. I was like, oh wait, I could just do WebSockets and just communicate between my server and the Twitch server at the same time, and just I don't need to do anything like long pulling, anything like that. But in this case, yeah, there is nothing for followers, which is the one that I needed to work on. But we could do the same thing for subscribers though. So that's kind of the way of doing it. And yeah, at this point, I would not build my own web server. I would probably just use I would just probably use this one. I'm not looking forward to building my own WebSocket. I don't think it's interesting enough for me to build it from the ground up. So I'll just use this. In this case, this will be the dependency that I will start using. So maybe that's kind of the thing we should do next. So I could implement the long pulling, and then after that, we could just come back and just take it out and just replace it with the WebSocket ones. Because the WebSocket ones also have... Are you gonna be streaming Rust? Because I'm not streaming Rust. You should definitely stream it though. Wait, you should stream it. You know why you should stream it? Because I cannot watch it, and I want to watch the game. Oh, I did I say that it was? No, I don't think I did. No, I don't think I'm gonna stream it. I'm not streaming Rust. Maybe Friday, but not today. Screenshot, or it didn't happen. Oh, there is also events for hype trains, which is kind of cool. I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing. You're building the hype. Thanks for the hype. Okay. Cool. So going back here. Now what I want to figure out. So we will have to create a new event. Let's create a new event. Oh, past me decided that they wanted to do this already, so excuse me, we ended up adding one already. It is. So if you have Amazon Prime, don't forget to subscribe with your Amazon Prime. Okay. So we need to check. Alright, so go back down here. I feel like this is doing a lot of the work that we need to do. The only difference here is that it's just making an API call. It's gonna be the same logic from the ground up. So maybe that's kind of. Yeah, I might just end up reusing this and changing some of the keys, because it's gonna be the same logic, right? We're checking that the ID hasn't changed, and then if it has changed, we're gonna return it. I'm gonna call it compare users. And then it's just going to return a Twitch user. It's going to be nil. So again, we just want to reuse this as much as we can. Get rid of this for now. And see what this returns. Followers. The follower returns a response. A Twitch. The responses are the same. That's okay. But this will return a user. So we could get rid of. So we're gonna keep that one. Let's reuse this one as much as we can. So I'm just gonna make this take a user. Sir Twitch. Sir. This, that, and are changing this to this is current follower. So. Alright, follower. Current follower, it's that. Oh, we need a total. Oh, it's because it's caching it, so. I'm gonna change this to okay. And then I'm gonna change this from current follower to just current user. Then we are changing color and follower. The goal here is to just reuse this method, so we're gonna just reuse it as much as we can. Yeah, that's true. So it will be the keys would, so these 3 keys will have to change on the type. So I was thinking of just creating a type, so which is a string, and then having a switch statement that handles it. Something like so that's kind of what I was thinking. Okay, that's true. Current ID. So current user. Yep. Then this is. Wait, yeah, I'm getting the current user ID. And I'm getting rid of this. I don't need it here. I need it in here. T2. Then this turns back into current ID. Current ID. Okay, so that kind of gives us that. It should have the ID. I don't think we need to handle that there. Okay, and then we can just get rid of pretty much all of this. And we are the W air user. And it takes a current follower, which is a slice, then current follower low. Wait, that's not right. This one. And then current followers, which has total in it. And then follower. What do you mean? So the keys and cells are just inside of the cache package. It's just, it lets me just, I thought it was easier for me to just have them there as content, as content value, so I could just pull them in. I might have lost some of the chat messages. Yeah. Okay. Can I use value? Okay, that's not a pointer, so we turn it to a pointer. There, that's the error, but yeah. So one thing I try to do is I don't like interfaces at all. I'm not sure what you mean by the extra function, because I'm gonna add a new one here. It's kind of the same logic. I'm not sure. Oh, here too, right? Because the ID is gonna be different. So I see what you mean. I missed the all ID. Something like that. So another option is to do, check this out. Yeah, this kind of defeats the purpose of the function itself. The point of the function was to be able to be reused in both places, but we won't be able to reuse it because of how. Yeah, at this point, it's like there's no point of doing that. But yeah, it's gonna pretty much be the same, unless I use interfaces and have. Yeah, or yeah, I could start building the keys myself. Also, since this is a string, I could build it myself. Followers. So here will be something like. Yeah, but then you lose the safety of yeah, I thought I could reuse it, but I don't think so. Yep, that's kind of what I thought too. But then the issue that happens is like it's easier for me to forget how the key looks like. We don't have tests for this. This piece of the code base is not tested. So there's no test here. I think I didn't write any test for it because I had to mock the Twitch API in that case. So it's something like last follower. But here's how it becomes weird because it's follower. Yeah, that could help. Okay, yeah, and so check this up again. And here. And photo. And then okay, I think that will do it. So I'm passing the prefit, and then I can just build the keys myself. In this case, it will be T plus follower ID. Yeah, that's true. That is a good point. So we should make it work first. Okay, so maybe I'm gonna stick with the ugly version of it. And I'm gonna take Frank's advice, stay with the ugly one. I'm gonna get rid of this. Then I'm gonna go back to our cache and make some changes there. That's a good point though. Make it work first and then make it pretty. Cool. Okay, so the goal is pretty much to do the same exact thing that we have above. So I'm just gonna copy. No, I don't even gonna copy some of this thing. Oh yeah, I could copy the first part. Okay. So here we're gonna do current follower. Current subscriber. Current subscriber is gonna return a Twitch user. Everything is already doing for us. Yeah, so it returns a subscriber which has user info in it. Twitch as a user inside of it, which is how weird the Twitch API is. Okay, so we are gonna do subscribers. That's gonna give us all the subscribers that we want. Then we are gonna do subscribers, and this is gonna change. Cool. And we are just gonna return nil and nil. So there's nothing has changed. Okay. Then current follower, current subscriber. This is current subscribers because it has all the subscribers inside of it. Then this one is current subscriber. Oops. And we want the first one. So because of how we set it up, we are always going to get only one, and then that will be the latest subscriber. And then we're going to do current ID, which is our current ID. Current subscriber dot user ID. Then we are going to get, so we don't have a cache for it, so subscriber so this one is the one that's going to come from the cache. We are not caching this yet, so we are going to ping our cache. We're going to do get. So we have to create our own key now for this because we don't have one. That was a good point, Frank. Thank you so much. I was getting stuck in the implementation details. Sorry, I was getting stuck. Like, I had the implementation in mind. I just got stuck in the how to make it pretty. So, something to keep in mind. Subscriber. Last subscriber ID. Subscriber. Total subscriber. Okay, so we have two new keys. So here we are gonna get our last subscriber key. And then we're gonna just do the comparison that we're doing before. Okay, so the conversation now, that's pretty much what we need here. Why is that liking it? Okay. I think it's not liking it because, oh, I know why. I didn't use the package name. Okay. Okay, so here is where all the work happens. So we have to cache. So that means that the subscriber that we just got. So we pull the last subscriber. Last subscriber is standard one that we have already cached. So that means that we need to save it. So we're gonna set it to the cache, and then we're gonna use the same key. So we are setting the last ID. So current, which we have to turn into a, wait, oh, I don't think we there. So current ID hash dot set hash dot last subscriber, wait, did the ID Oh, I need their display name, so that's something that we don't have. So we are passing this information for our API. So subscriber name, and then we're gonna do current subscriber user, and we're gonna save the display name. Then cache that, and we're gonna save the total too. So we need the total because we are showing the total as part of the goal too. So that's kind of where it will become helpful there. And I think it's a integer, so we might have to convert it. Yeah, so we have to convert it to a string because I'm not using interfaces at all for the cache. So this cache also always expects a string. So we have to do the conversions ourselves. Okay, so we should go back and add those keys that we're missing. So we're missing last subscriber ID, last subscriber key, last subscriber name, and that's it. Oh, I forgot to put key here. Okay. Cool. So I think and we have to change this to capital D. So we're gonna do that. Okay, I think that gets us what we want, and then we're gonna return. We just have to return the current subscriber back to the color, and that's how we decide. And only the user, we don't need to pass it everything else. Okay, so I think that gets us what we want, and let me fix this error. Okay. Okay, so the change we have to make here is two things. So we are sending this event, so we just need to send this a new event here too. So the way that the event API was made is that it takes a message struct with the type of event and then the display name of the user. So we can kind of do that here. So we could do new subscriber. So I should also make a note to write some tests for this. Okay, so no space between there. Okay, so here we're gonna do if error is not null, we're gonna return. Running here? No, we just logging here. Print. Okay, so we are printing an error saying that we failed to get a new subscriber. And then we're just gonna print the error that we got back from our method. The error itself is gonna say like if the Twitch API failed. Okay, and if new follower, so if we have a new follower, it's not nil. That means that we I have a new follower and we're running. So this is running inside of a goal routine. So it's running inside of a goal routine. So, sorry, it's not even running inside of a goal routine. It's running inside of after function. So there's, if I return an error, I don't think there's a, well, no. So here's the thing. If I return an error, that means that this function never gets called again. And the goal of the refresher is to call itself over and over again. So that's kind of how it's a ooh, wait, how I'm forgetting what that's called. It's a, oh wait, I forgot the name of how do you call these things. It's a recursion. It's a recursive function. What is the difference between after func and a ticker? Also, maybe might be better. How would this make it better? Oh, but we want to wait. So here's the thing. We want to wait because if we don't wait, we'll ping the Twitch API too much. So we have to be careful not to. We have to wait a few seconds, at least. Let's see. Yeah, at least 15 seconds before we make a API call to the Twitch API. So after function is doing that for us. So for example, the only one that needs is the round tripper is this function here. So this function, getting the subscriber is the only one that uses the round tripper. You don't need to be authenticated to get the followers. So if you think about it, the current follower, it's not making any. You don't have to be authenticated to get access to it. The current subscriber, you need to be authenticated for the channel to get access to it. So the round tripper only gets triggered for the current subscriber and not for the follower. That would be the only difference. And that's kind of why we had two clients, is because some of them you don't need to be authenticated to be able to access. Okay, so we're going to change this to use slagger here. Slug.print. This is a new subscriber. Cool. Thank you for stopping by. New subscriber. Okay, so we could test if this works correctly by going to our so we could go back to our API, our goals API, which has most of the information, and we could just update this to start returning the information that we need. So here we are gonna get the cast subscriber. So we don't care if they're not there. So we could do API that. Oops. Get, and we are gonna get our total subscriber. So total subscriber, and again, we don't care if it's missing because we are just gonna return a empty string anyway, so our API is fine with that. And we're gonna do cache dot display name. So we only use a display name for we only use this. Sorry, we only use the ID for the comparison because a user could change their IDs, but their name, but not their ID. So that's why we're using that. Okay, so if this works correctly, this one is the one I want. I'm gonna turn that off. I'm gonna rebuild it. Okay, if this works correctly, I could go to our API and we could see what we have. So, oh, this is not right. Am I making the wrong call? Oh, that's weird. It's also triggering the alert. Something might be up with our alerts. So I'm gonna turn the follower one off while we figure out what is wrong with this one. Okay. So we met our follower goals. Oh wait. Oh wait, why is it? So we made. It looks like it's missing a lot of information. I see. That's kind of the issue, is that we're calling the wrong thing. I'm gonna remove it completely and replace it by to use the subscriber goal. I don't think I could have both. I don't think there's space for both of them. Really? Let's see. Because I was planning to remove both of them. I mean, keep only one. Server pressure. So I wonder if the keys are wrong. No. So what, I messed up. Okay, so I will try to add both and see how it looks. If it looks too weird, I will try not to keep both. Okay, what did I do weird here? So here, oh wait, I see. This is wrong. I ended up turning off that notification, so that wouldn't work here. Yeah, it might be better if I cache that token. Okay. So if I go here, still off. That's 20. We're getting 20 from the API. Oh wait, I know why. No, I don't know why. So let's just print that then. So let's print it when you guys add it to it. So the things that are messed up. The things that are messed up right now are the follower's name are missing and the subscriber name is missing. So I wonder if I messed up something with the cache itself. That is where. I might have broken something really deep down. So I just added new. Let's just see what I messed up. Okay, so the subscriber one is right. I think something might be messed up with the cache itself. Oh, and since the catch is a map, I can just print out the map. The access token is in there, so that wouldn't work. Okay, so we should go to our API goal and see what this is returning. Let's just do this one. So we go back here. Our total is wrong. Goal is correct. The total is wrong. So we just have to check how we're building that struct. And the funny part is that when the stream started, it was just working correctly. So I wonder where it went wrong. Okay, so these are the correct ones. These are the wrong ones. So let's see. It might be something to do with my cache. Yeah, definitely should cache it. Okay. Let me go back here. Oh, it's because maybe it's not refreshing. Now it's refreshing. Now it's correct. So it takes a bit longer now because we're making a call to the API. So the first time it's gonna look like there is nothing there. The second time it's gonna look like it's there. So the numbers are right now. So cool. We have a new subscriber. Karen. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Thank you so much for subscribing. Okay, so we have a new subscriber. So we have the goal. We have the new subscribers user display name. Then we have the total number of subscribers, and then we have the goal for subscribers. So we have enough information to create our API. So we could jump into our header to add this information here. So this is how the header looks right now. Because I'm using a bigger, so OBS has this canvas concept, and I'm using a really big canvas, so I could have the camera and I could have the browser in the same place. But when it comes to my monitor, it looks like it's running out of space, and that's kind of how I was a bit confused why when I mentioned that I'm running out of space is because there's not that much space here. Yeah, it looks fine in the stream. So I just hope that when I add it here, it looks fine too. So we have that there. So yeah, thank you for stopping by. I believe it's nighttime there, so have a good night. So we have our overlay and our header. So we are going to do some JavaScript. Some very, very basic JavaScript. And this is our header. So we are adding 2 more of this. Okay, so we are changing this one to subscriber goal. Yep, and we are going to change this one to subscriber. Okay, and I should move this whole thing. Move that over here. Okay, So let's see how that one looks. So this is how it looks like my screen. It like looks very crowded. Here. I see. Yeah, it looks very weird on my screen. So hopefully it looks better in the stream. Oh wait, you know what? I could emulate a bigger monitor. So let's do that. So I have, what is the setting for OBS? Okay, we're using a 3000. Yeah, so it's big. Okay, is that right? Yeah, so it's gonna look very, very small. Go with this one. Okay, so that makes it better. So I'm able to emulate how the screen on the stream looks like. So it's not really, it's just reducing the font size. Well, that's pretty much it. But this is what you guys are seeing as part of the stream. Okay, so cool. So that gives me a better idea how it's gonna look like. So Copter, you're right. It doesn't look too bad. And the goal is messed up because we don't have any right now. But this one looks right, this one looks right, and this one also looks right. So the thing that we have to do is we have to populate it. So let's see. I don't want to call this multiple times. Oh, I guess it's fine. So we could just do that. Yeah. Or we could just do it here. So update header. So we want to update. So let me just save the names of these classes. Okay, cool. So I think that's pretty much it, and I could close this one, and that will give us more room. So now we have to update this here. So we're gonna change this to follower counter and follower counter. Okay, so follower counter. Then we have more information. So we have subscriber name element, which is where we put the subscriber name. Again, I'm using very simple JavaScript because it's just the overlay itself, and there's nothing like, it only refreshes when a new follower or a new subscriber starts subscribes or follows us. So there's nothing much. There is not like production code base. That's kind of what I'm going for. Okay, so we have their name. And then we have the subscriber counter element, which command body, which has the subscriber. Sorry, it has our goal. And here I'm using I'm not using IDs, so I have to. It's always going to return more than once. I mean, in this case, so I'll do follow. Sorry, not follow. Subscriber counter. Okay. So we have that there, and in here we could do subscriber name that inner. So we're just gonna add it into the element as an inner tags, and it's gonna be data that end up calling it. So subscriber name there. Let's say we can see if it works. Yep, I might have the wrong class for it. And then we just have to make a new event for it to listen. So it's gonna the last thing we have to do for this to work correctly. And again, Frank, thanks for making sure that I just didn't make it pretty from the start. I think one thing people, and myself included, happens is that you get stuck in like making it better, but at the end of the day, it's like if you don't get it to work at the beginning, even if you try to make it better, it's not like you're not sure it's gonna work if it works in the first place. So you're gonna spend so much time making it prettier versus just like seeing if it works. If it works, then you make it prettier. Well, you improve the performance and then you make it prettier. So thank you for that. So okay, so that one works. The next thing that we have to do is pretty much the same logic here, but instead of doing the follower ones, we are going to be doing we're gonna do, let's just call total subscribers. Total subscriber. Okay, and then subscriber goal. Alright, so if you go back here, I'm sure if you could see that, but well, it's not sure. Oh, the round element is being used. So we need to change this to subscriber count. Okay. Then we've done. And the last one is undefined. Oh, it's not total that I want. I want goal. Oh, subscribe. That's what I called it. I'm gonna have to rename it. Whatever. Okay, so I'm gonna rename it the API. So okay, so I'm renaming at that. We are renaming this one. Oh, that's interesting. I named it correctly, but it just okay. Cool. Then we start our server, which is this one here. yeah, probably the next thing we work on is how to cache that locally. If we have a token for the duration of the stream, we shouldn't have to recreate it every single time. Okay, so we refresh this. Now it's messed up. What did I mess up? Oh, it's because it takes a while. Okay. Okay, so this is how it looks now. So I'm gonna update this streams overlay so you could see it too. So this is how it looks. It doesn't look bad at all. I thought there was not enough room, but there is enough room there. Cool. I need to fix the slowness. So first, let's just get rid of. I want to get rid of. I'm gonna get rid of that printing. So we don't start printing the counter. Is there anything else printing? That was it. Okay, so we're gonna start printing there. And the next thing we want to do is we want it. So the slowness is coming because we're only refreshing every 15 seconds. And that means that we could be ready in less than 15 seconds, right? It's like, so in the refresher, if we're not authenticated yet, we are just gonna keep refreshing. But the issue that happens is that we are only checking this every 15 seconds. So maybe instead of checking every 15 seconds, if we're not authenticated yet, we should just call this function sooner. So let's see. Refresh. I'm gonna do refresh, which is what we're gonna be using every second. So we're gonna check if we're authenticated every second. And if we're authenticated, we are gonna change refresh to be follow refresh time, which is 15 seconds. That's how we're gonna handle the slowness for the start. And the slowness itself is just because we need to wait until we are ready, until the user, so until I authenticate the Twitch API, we're not able to make any requests. So that will fix it. So the goal is to refresh every second, and then after we authenticate, we are gonna just refresh every 15 seconds. Oh, not again. Okay. Cool, so we're authenticated, it now works. So another thing that I need to figure out is why the follower, why is the new follower triggering? So usually it doesn't trigger right away. Oh, I know why. Where are we setting it's running? Oh, that's why. Okay, so we shouldn't do it there. We should do it in here. So the issue that's happening is because we are. So it's running is used for two things. It gives us, it lets us know that we have run successfully. It then tells us if this is the first time that the refresher is starting, so we shouldn't send the event. And then after we have started and everything set to true, running is set to true, that means that we're running, and that's why we're getting the new follower notification over and over again every time we started our server. Which shouldn't be the case anymore. So I'm gonna turn it back on. So that was the main issue there, was that one change that I made. Okay, so go here, we restart it. Else, you can open there. Okay, so we're authenticated. and now we get this message sooner. Then we ping the Twitch API, we ping so we ping the subscriber API, and we ping the Twitch API, sorry, the follower API. If you go back here, see here, yeah, we see sooner, which is kind of cool. So that's kind of it. That's what I had in mind for today. One thing I want to do is caching the token, because since we're not caching the token itself, it's just gonna, every time that we restart it and we have a valid token, it's just gonna fail. So I have that set to do. So we're going to look at that later. What time is it? Cool. So the next thing I want to look into is our so we have a bot account. We started writing like some commands and like some simple stuff, or how to like handle. Oh, that's weird. Okay, so we have this thing that we started building before we had a proper chat account. Sorry, not chat account, chat client. So this is kind of the hack of what the so Miguel Code TV/Rod is using this. So it's kind of like a pretty much a combination of like what we had when we started the stream, like 4 months ago. Sorry, 4 months, 4 or 5 weeks ago. This is kind of what we started with. This is what we've been using for a while. So now the goal of what we need to do is I want to add support for more commands. So we created this thing to parse commands. Oh, it stops up. Let's see if this fixes it. Oh, that's so weird. What if I open it from here? So my autocomplete is not working correctly. Like what I use for autocomplete doesn't work. I guess that helped. Okay. So nope, didn't. Okay. So I have this directory called commands, which is kind of how we implemented the first couple of commands that we have. So we have certain commands. So if we do let's see, we do commands, it will send back a list of the commands that it supports. So and then we have some of them that are only allowed to certain group of users. For example, if we do give me a second. Alright, so if we do something like go here and we do and then we do that too, which is for shoutouts, then that's pretty much it. So I want to expand this. It's a bit, I think there's so much we could change to it. So that's the thing we're gonna try to do. At least figure out how to do it better. But for now, I'm gonna add a new one. Also, it's kind of weird that we have to add this at the beginning of the command. So again, we didn't really thought it out fully. So that will be the goal of today. Oh, well, some of the thought process. So we have a Discord now. So we could just put the Discord here. And description. So this is kind of how I was thinking of doing it. There is a couple of things that I want to change and see how it works correctly. So one thing I would want to probably change is make it in more structure. For now, arguments is just an slice strings, but it would be cool if you just passes a struct, because there will be more things that we want to add. Okay, so here So we could do just, I think for this one, just do, wait, how do you write? Oh, I see. So we, FE. So this is kind of what we have working with. There is a lot of like manual thing that we have to do. So it would be cool if you could start moving some of this code to start, like, no one could use it. That's the issue. Most of it is hard coded, right? Most of it is hard coded. And we want to send the Discord link. Let's find our Discord link. So like the thought process is there, like some of the things I want to make it work like, but the issue in the other hand is like there's some other things that are missing that I would want to add. Okay, let's go to URL. And it would be cool if it handles configuration too, because the Discord URL could be configurable. And we don't need to return, we can just do that. Okay, so that's kind of the idea that I have behind it. So that is being weird because I deleted some of the stuff. Restart this. Oh, broken. Okay, and then can we do school? Oh, it didn't save. Oh, I see. It's weird. I also have to manually add the new lines. Yeah, so this thing is like very brittle. So I will probably want to add like an interface to writing, which I think I did already in a different place. So here, it's not working. So I broke some stuff because I upgraded my. I think I lost my changes. Let's see. Yeah, I lost my changes. Okay, so let's see if this works now. So the it's here. The good thing is that we could add more commands, and we could connect our. We could create a new overlay that the account, the bar account, could control. So like play silly sounds and things like that. I have a couple ones from our game night that are very funny, so I'm most likely gonna use those for stream. So if you guys were playing Friday, I'm sorry, I'm gonna be using your voice as part of the stream. And it's cool. Okay. Saves. Let's see if it saves. Yeah. Okay. Then we're gonna just do it again. Makes a function with IO writer, and then args, which is just all the arguments. I don't need it, so we could just probably ignore it for now. We could just ignore it. Yeah, let's just ignore it. Okay. So here we are just fmf print. And yeah, we're gonna hand roll it. Okay, so here we are gonna paste the Discord URL, which I don't have anymore. Find it. Okay. And I forgot to pass the writer, so that's why he's complaining. So we pass the writer. Okay. Cool. So we turn it off and we'll start again. And we can try it again. There we go. We can make it friendly too. If you notice that it doesn't show up in the stream, the messages from the bot, it's because we're filtering now. So in the overlay, anything that every time that the bot replies, we are not showing that message. Okay. Cool. So I don't think I have time to implement the whole thing now, but I just want to go over how. So I like how this one works because it's a map, and the map has a command, and then it has yeah, so it's a map and it has a command. So there's like something called parts. Yeah, so there's something called parts that goes and it then try to find it. If it finds it, it would then just execute the action by passing the here it's just passing the connection. So it's passing the chat connection that we have open with the Twitch chat servers, and then it's passing a several arguments. So whatever arguments we pass here, whatever arguments we're passing here, we're passing it back into that function. So that's kind of a cool thing that I like about it. We could create a file for command or something like that. So we could use that, or we could also, that would be a good start. There might be other stuff too. So we could look at how a CLI, yeah, like Cobra works, and see how they add more commands to it. Because it's kind of the same setup. Yep. So it's pretty much the same way that I have it set up. Instead of action, they call it run. You could say how many arguments you want, which is just an array. Sorry, a slice. Name. The thing that I wonder is how do you do separate files? So it would be cool if you have a file per command. So this one parses all the args, right? It parses them. And again, pretty much sends it up. This one has action, and then usage, and then the name of the command. It's kind of the same setup too. Then this one kind of does the same. And then it has like you could have like a slice. So if you have a slice, you have to rebuild it. So the reason why I'm using a map is because I don't have to do any parsing. I could just use a map to find the commands, which is what I'm doing here. So if I get a command, I could just go and check the command based on the key in the map. So that's not a... But yeah, so here I'm using, this is the command itself, so that's kind of what I'm using for the key. So that would do it. The issue with some of these things, the issue that I have with mine right now is with init. Init is not, it's people use it, but it shouldn't be used the way I'm using it. So I need to figure out if that's the right way to do it. But I don't see any examples of like using across multiple. Let's look what. Look at how Kubernetes handles it, because they have a bunch of commands too. But it's gonna look really bad and really crazy. So they have their own library. They use main. Wait, but that's okay. That's just building the command itself. So this is the main file. So this builds all the commands. Wait, where is this? Okay, so we can look in here and see how this thing looks. Whoa. So I guess they just have one, like they're just having one file that handles everything for them. And they have something called add command, which is just using Cobra. And when does this call? So this has a new command, and then it returns a Cobra command. So yeah, so that does it there. But how does it find the other commands? Like, what is a command? Okay, so there's a plugin handler, and guess all the plugins. Plugins empty, just does nothing. Kubernetes might not be the best place to look at. This is so massive. Okay, so returns a Cobra command. Yeah, this might not be the best place to look at, because the issue that happens is that I want to be able to. It's one file. I want to be able to get have a list of files, and each file declares its own command. Hugo might be doing it. Okay. I guess it just has a function that just adds all the commands. I think that's the best way to do it then. Yeah, so we could just do that. It just builds all the commands in one place. Cool. I think I'm gonna end the stream here. Thank you so much for watching. I'll probably be on today's Tuesday, so maybe Friday, or I might do like a Thursday one since I didn't do yesterday or Sunday, so I might be on Thursday of this week. But yeah, thank you so much for hanging. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for some of the help. Yeah, and thank you to Carrots for the follow. And thank you everyone that helped me to get to 101 followers. Cool. I will see you guys later.